Red 2 standing by, all for lit and in the green. Welcome back to Metroid Prime. We are just about to head into one of the site, of one of my biggest fiascos, where we found the Wave Buster. I made my way through the ruined shrine earlier, which unfortunately has Chozo ghosts in it. We have to deal with them a lot. It can't be helped. So, if we make our way through this door, we get ourselves another Chozo artifact. This is the 5th of 12, the artifact of Life Giver. It doesn't matter if we get them in a different order. Let's just head on out of here and we can do a bit more exploring in the Chozo ruins now that we have the gravity suit. So much easier. You do need the gravity suit for a lot of things. If you're skilled enough, you can actually get through certain areas without it. I am obviously not skilled enough given that I forgot where I had to go. It's probably worth watching those dumbass moments just to laugh. We don't want to deal with them. Fortunately, the doors don't lock. Can I get through? Yes, I can. Power Beam's probably going to be very handy against a lot of enemies. It's kind of disappointing to note, in a sense, that the Ice Beam is at such a disadvantage in this game. The Ice Beam is like your key weapon. It helps you in so many situations, in most games, probably from Metroid 2 onwards, because some enemies are only vulnerable to the Ice Beam, of course. It wasn't quite as helpful in the original, because, for whatever reason, enemies that we hit with the Ice Beam were ultimately coded to just take damage when they were frozen. Now this was fair enough because the developers actually decided it would be a really cool way to save on memory space by having you use pretty much the frozen enemies as platforms. I can't jump up there, can I? There. Not from there. Damn it. That's kind of unfortunate. Was hoping to have a bit of a shortcut, but I suppose we can make our way around to the Gathering Hall. Come a long way from those days when the Hive Totem was a big challenge. There we go. Leaves fell off as the missile brushed past. That's a nice detail. But yeah, the Ice Beam is really not that great when you compare it to the Ice Beam of the past. This was a devastating weapon in most of the games. Yes, it did take a while to kill enemies, but on the bright side, you did get that platform. It was useful for a lot of shortcuts. It was a very creative idea of the developers to actually let you use it in that way. So now we can go through... I think we can go through to the magma pool. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do that because I think there might be the last piece of Chozo lore in there, according to all my bits of editing. If we go through this way, we'll see blast caps. We can gun those down pretty easily. None of your beam weapons are ever completely useless. But let's be honest, some of them are a bit more useful than others. Okay, so I will bet you what I need is right down the other end of the room. Which is unfortunate, we still need the grapple beam before we can do anything there. Lovely little detail with this fountain here. Meditation fountain. No wonder. I mean, why would you go to all the trouble of making a room look like this? Once again, that's how much great attention to detail there is in this game. It still holds up really well. But yeah, if you're looking for a weapon that is going to hold up and do plenty of service throughout the game, you're probably going to rely on your power beam a lot more than you think. The wave beam is pretty crappy at close quarters and it's fairly slow firing, but it does have the advantage that it will track down your enemies. Now, Gathering Hall, that's straight ahead. Because we want to go to the Watery Hall. Guess what? More Chozo ghosts. Let me through. Nearly got shot, and there we are. Now I need to find... Ah yes, we'll have to go around to the Hive Totem next. So that's going to require a bit of backtracking. Because there is, of course, an item we can get if we go back to the Sun Chamber. Way back when, it was mentioned that one of the artifacts was in the Sun Chamber. So we can go and grab that. We don't need to do too much more around this area. The power beam always remains useful because it's got the super missile. It's fast firing and helps you deal with most basic enemies. I'd probably have to say that the ice beam is really terrible in this game. It's very useful, there is no doubts about that, but it has some major disadvantages. Now, where do we go? We have to go down somewhere. There we are. We're looking to go here. Missile expansion. Very nice. So yeah, the wave beam's at a bit of a disadvantage, especially at close quarters, but it makes up for that by being very good against certain enemies, and the fact that it can stun lock opponents is a big boon. The ice beam is ridiculously slow. Like, basically, combine a shotgun, very powerful and effective at close range, with roughly the pace of continental drift. And you've got the ice beam in this game. It's still particularly useful, but problem is it loses some of its advantages when you're not using enemies as platforms. You can still kill them very quickly, but the fact the Space Pirates spent so much time tinkering around with Metroids to the point that they're actually weak to other weapons besides the ice beam, which some fans were, well, actually quite a lot of fans were upset with. So basically they kind of didn't have a lot of use for the ice beam apart from its traditional methods. But given that you do have some very useful methods of killing Metroids, it's kind of reduced in effectiveness. Like a single super missile will drop a Metroid easily, as you saw, and even the wave beam will handle them pretty well from a distance, because if they're moving around, you can just target them. We don't get the ability to punch through walls in this, which is understandable because that could be a bit fiddly, but we do get at least decent power out of it. And of course that stun lock thing is very useful against difficult and hard to hit enemies. The homing ability is definitely good compensation. The plasma beam, well, you're going to see what the plasma beam does and you'll see why it's pretty much my go-to. If I don't have to open a specific door or an enemy is not weak to a specific element, for example, Magmors will shrug off fire-based attacks, then I will have the plasma beam equipped because it just tears through things. Now, in some games, frozen enemies would actually die when the ice beam wore off, which is fairly cool, but it's much better being able to freeze things and use them to your advantage. So like I said, very good for sequence breaking if you know what you're doing and you can do things like grab the ice beam early. You need a bit of skill for that one and a knowledge of speedrunning tricks in Super Metroid, but it'll work out pretty well, all things considered. As for me, I just potter along getting completely lost. So we're finally back to where it all began. Our second boss battle, because of course the Parasite Queen. But this is where the fight got really challenging. Where you had to learn about all your useful abilities or you would get yourself utterly gunned down. And there are some pretty good abilities along the way too. All those little touches like the radar and being able to strafe are vital. So, come through here. Much better equipment, more health. And we can make our way through this little tunnel. So yeah, usually the wave beam has certain advantages over the plasma beam, but it's kind of interesting to note that Metroid Fusion is the only instance where you get the plasma beam before you get the wave beam. Usually you get the plasma beam last because apparently being able to shoot through walls is nowhere near as busted as being able to shoot through enemies. Now, do we have hives here? Land one. Move across. Two. And if I can split the gap for... I thought I had that. Nope, just not enough gap, but that's three. And with caution... Oh, there's plenty of stuff we can do in the Phendrana Drifts too. I'll have to see you back there. Now we'll have to make our way past the Oculus in this area. Oh yeah, runic symbols. Oh, good old Cordite again. How did they not explode? So that's one. More Cordite. Two down, two to find. We're looking... No, there wasn't one hidden actually on the door. Whoop. That's three, and we'll need one more. This is a bit of a chore, but we do need to do this to get an artifact, so might as well do it now. There we go, doors open. So yeah, I can grab a couple of things back in Phendrana, which I probably should do. Sorry about that one. We can go through the first pathway of Magmore Caverns. Now stay here. Ooh, so... Caution is the watchword, as always. I thought... Do I jinx myself every time I say I'm going to be cautious about things? I must do. I absolutely must do. There we are. That's made it. And if we go through here, we'll see a Chozo ghost fleeing from us. We're ready to fight. Very kindly get the same stock up we would from facing Flagra. We are much stronger than when we were here the first time, which is obviously completely understandable. So, 3 Chozo ghosts to deal with. Oh, come on. So pay attention to our radar, wait to see where they appear. One right in front of me, one right behind me. Oh, got him! I didn't think that was going to count. Also, if you haven't scanned the door lock, do it now. The most annoying part of this is finding them. But if we do find them, right, you can do a little bit of damage to me, but I can do plenty of damage to you. You're up there. You're out of commission for so long. Two down, one to go. Excuse me. Don't... Numerous... Yes, I know. I'm not interested. I'm killing ghosts. That also opens up the pathway that Flagra closed. Yes, shut up, game. I'm turning those off. So, I know we have to go back to the frigate crash site. I don't care. Because we can finally stand atop this flower. And the artifact of wild is ours. So, tell you what, I'm going to annoy the game, and I will see you back in Phendrana Drifts. Just thinking, is there anything else I can get? So I can't go through there just yet because I don't have everything I need. So, I got the missile expansion, I got the artifacts. I think it's just head back to Phendrana Drifts. So, I shall see you there. Oh, that's really cool. I mean, it's really hot, but seeing the different parts of the burning trail heat up, seeing the development of the thermal visor, that's actually a really lovely touch. Points to the developers for that. I'm keeping that in. And of course, your ice beam shows up as pure black. It's notably superheated when it's on your gun, but fire it off and it's just freezing cold. See you in Phendrana. Oh wait, that's it. That's where we find the artifact. Now normally you need the X-ray visor for that. But if you know where things are, you obviously don't need the X-ray visor. So, let's stick the landing, which I do say a lot, I've noticed, and I'm also not very good at doing. The artifact of nature is ours. Not too bad if I do say so myself. Also, there you go. That was a quick demonstration, very quick given it died, of Magmoors winding up, just having their head being frozen, and also those levitating platforms do sink. Move quickly off them. Also, that's a nice shortcut through the Triclops pit. Well, whatever that room is. Pit tunnel. This is the Triclops pit, and now somewhere in here Pirates. You can just go right ahead and die. Mind Crush! Now, somewhere in here, as I was trying to say... Magnificent, that's sort of what I'm looking for. Now, where are the platforms? Because when you're on Talon 4, you can actually find the invisible platforms. You can see the rain landing on them. Okay, here we are in the Phendrana Drifts. Now, I did manage to find the pickup in the Triclops pit that can be accessed with... basically by using a super missile to shatter some rocks and then using the X-ray visor to jump to those... jump to the platforms. Now, you know that you can manage to find most of the pickups if you know where the platforms are. I didn't. So we got a little bit stuck and I wasted quite a lot of time just sort of stuffing around, actually trying to find everything. Excuse me. Headed it back to me, not a bad shot. Is it going to actually stop? So, we need to go over here towards the Chozo Ice Temple. Because, of course, Cordite. We activate this. The Sheegoth shoots us in the back. Rude. Oh, I wish I had the plasma beam. You can take care of them so easily with that. Oi! Right, no, I don't care if I have to get up here again. On principle, you're dead. Come on, jackass. I don't care if that cost a lot of missiles. That was worth it. Still can't get up there quite easily, but for interrupting our cutscene, I had to do that. I don't care if I have to go all the way up there again. I've already driven myself a bit crazy trying to find invisible platforms. Excuse me, let's get up here. And back down we go. Now I think it's over in Ice Ruins East, the other pickup we can get. So we'll need to head over this way. Now I believe there is actually something we can get on the way to the crashed frigate that the game was annoying us about earlier. I think it's another missile expansion. But we'll definitely... I'll probably cut things off to make the frigate its own episode. So, now this might be... Okay, we got Big Daddy Sheegoths. Or Big Mummy Sheegoths. Well, we just got Sheegoths in general that I don't want to be wasting my time with. We are wanting to run in the direction of away. Even though I know that's probably not the wisest move. It is up here. We want to go here and... want to find magnetic rails. So, that's pretty much all we came for. Oh yeah, really cool trick. If Sheegoths can't reach you, they'll actually start stomping the ground in an attempt to get you back to where they are. I want to stick it down there because we don't want to be fighting the Sheegoth. Honestly, it's a bit of a waste of time, but we've got plenty of missiles. There is no really fast way back to Talon 4 from here, in all fairness. Alrighty, here we are. One dead pirate. Keep up the fusillade of ice beam shots. One of them will get it eventually. And down into the water we go. If we look over there, one missile expansion. We can get here from that save point in the Chozo ruins, but otherwise we have to do a little bit of careful maneuvering, I believe. Or not. No, wait, we do. We go around here. And through this little path. Head above water. There's normally a dying space pirate near here. Odd. So let's head on in. It's this way, isn't it? Slowly through the tangle weeds. And we'll go on through there in the next one. Thank you very much for joining me. It's been a bit of a mess, but until next time, this is Red 2, returning to base.